Hey boys and girls, welcome back. A quick update on the donor car dumpster fire. So I did take a bore scope and looked in through the spark plug holes into each one of the cylinders, looking for that errant chunk of aluminum from the manifold. The first three cylinders that I looked in looked something like this. You can't really see a whole lot, but I wasn't really seeing any. I couldn't really see any pieces of anything. And then on cylinder number 4, that one looked like this. So immediately I could tell there's something going on, and you can kind of see it's kind of difficult to tell. I don't really have control over the focal length of that camera, but you can tell that there's chunks of something in there, and the sort of shiny spots on the top of the piston indicate to me that those bits have been flopping around in there for some period of time. So although I would like to run this engine a little bit and see that I'm making oil pressure and that I got compression and I don't hear any nasty knocks or anything, I don't really want to do that knowing that there's a chunk of something, even if it is only aluminum. I don't really want to do that when there's a chunk of something in there. So what I'm going to do, I did get a new bigger blowgun so I can reach down in there and see if I can dislodge and blow out those pieces of whatever that is in there. I don't really have super high expectations that I'm going to be able to do that, but I figure it's worth a shot. If I can manage to get those pieces out of there and verify that it looks okay, or at least looks better, maybe then I'll decide to turn the motor over and run it for a couple minutes, checking those various parameters. And if not, then we're just going to pull it out as it is, and we'll just go from there. Look at this, boys and girls. These are those little pieces that came out of there. There's a bunch of little smaller particles, but these two, I think these are what we were looking at in the bore scope. And this is that plate, that cover plate. So I'm thinking that one came out something like there. So yeah, maybe we can crank it after all. Okay, so we got those little pieces out. Total of 3 of these little pieces, or at least that I could gather. We put the plugs back in, ran it for a couple minutes. No sounds of any real concern. I mean, the accessory drive was making all kind of crazy noises, but that's in part, if not entirely, because part of the belt's tore up and there's just damage to some of those pulleys, but no serious engine noises that I could detect. No knocks, no rattles. It seems to be more or less healthy. I checked compression across all 4 cylinders, and all of them are within 5 psi of each other. I think they were hovering right around 200 psi. So it looks as though the motor internals are fairly healthy. So I may or may not tear it down in the future, but it seems to me that it doesn't necessarily require it. So what we're going to do moving on is I'll make the rest of the disconnections tonight, and then we'll pull the motor tomorrow. So that's fuel, shifter linkage, exhaust, and the harness, and that's about it.